Takže ahoj, tu je Roman Scandinavian Study a toto je ďalšia nahrávka alebo ďalší webinár so školami z Dánska. And we will conduct this in English, obviously, because the point is to understand each other. And my Danish is not that fluent, and my today's guest is Torsten Nicholas Ulsik, directly from Denmark. And your position is international recruiter, or you are head of department, I believe, of recruitment.
I'm not a head of the department.
But maybe one day you will be.
Yeah, could be.
And you are representing via Horsens, which is our partner school. And we send in, my pure guess is about 40, 45 students who start every year at VIA. And I take this as an opportunity, and thank you for doing it, that we can share some insight from VIA and maybe speak a bit more about current situation in Denmark. And what you expect, just slightly, even if it is not decided yet, we can always say something. So my first question, Torsten, is what makes you smile recently?
Well, for one thing, we have excellent spring weather this April, right. Much better than we normally do. So everything is sunny and everyone is out jogging, cycling, but at a still maintaining social distance. So I think people are pretty satisfied about the situation, despite the situation. Secondly, a piece of news, we will have, and this was just announced yesterday, we were planning an employability camp for new students, which would allow them to become even more integrated than we normally do. And we were a bit uncertain as to whether this would actually take place, but it's been decided that we will do it from the 17th of August to the 25th of August. So right up until study start. And students will be able to join, learn something about Danish culture, have a crash course in Danish language, become integrated in campus, become familiar with teaching traditions in Denmark, and also, and this is perhaps the most important thing, be connected with local businesses. We have some businesses where they will be visiting them, because we call this an employability camp, because what we want is students who will later on join the Danish workforce.
Yes.
Perhaps not for the rest of their lives, but at least starting their career there. And we want you to help them in that process. And it's going to be very cheap, a sign-up fee of 100 euros. And you have almost 10 days of activities, social activities, plus learning something. So that really makes me smile.
Yeah, fantastic. And also the weather, because in Denmark it's a little bit up norther than Slovakia. And actually, when I came back after my traveling, I really understand that in Slovakia we have good weather. It's not like Bulgaria or Croatia, but really it doesn't rain so much.
Yeah.
But this is a good point what you pointed out, that you come in a bit step further to students regarding their arrival to Denmark.
Yeah.
It's different culture. Scandinavian is different than Slavic culture. It's different language. And guys, everyone who is watching this, it's not mandatory, but I would take the chance to sign up. Even it costs 100 euros. If you get 10 days of information, it will ease you the start to Denmark. You will learn their information you will learn anyway on your own. But I believe it will be compressed and at the beginning. So you will know basic things, how it works, where to register, and you will have a chance to meet Danish companies and might find a job, part-time job. Excellent. Torsten, Horsens. I know Copenhagen. I know Stockholm. I know Berlin. Tell me a bit more about city called Horsens.
Horsens is a town.
All right.
And it's about 45,000 people. So it's not a city. But on the other hand, it's a very sort of close and safe environment and not big distances. Right now we're on a campus where there's accommodation on campus. So it's right across the street or in the local town center. We will be moving to a new campus in 2021, brand new campus. You can find an update on the building process on our Keeping Up with VIA Facebook account. And I would recommend that you go there and check out the most recent photos, both of what the stage of the building process is and also how the architect has visualized it. And that will be right in the center. So everything is close by. But of course, it's not Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a city where there is a lot of fun and entertainment. But then the students make their own fun and entertainment. They are really good at organizing parties and keeping up with each other and socializing together.
Believe or not, I'm sending much more students from Slovakia is coming to your school than to Copenhagen. And I think so it's 4 times more. Copenhagen is beautiful. It's multicultural, but you have plenty of advantages in Horsens. First of all, is top shelf education, which we can speak about later. It's good living cost. It's not Copenhagen. It's much cheaper, and actually your accommodation is very nearby your faculty, and it's quite easy to access. And it will give you another perspective. Not because Copenhagen, every capital city is state on its own, but maybe if you want to get to know real Dan, go outside of capital cities.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt about quality of education in Denmark, and especially at VIA. I know that students are very satisfied there, and I'm saying it not just for marketing purposes, but I really believe in what I'm saying right now. And your school, Thorsten, I believe it's focused on business and technology.
Yeah, engineering.
And your strength is, I think so, on technology more. And so it's mainly for people who wants to end up in these industries. If you can mention few study subjects which you have there, which you're happy about.
The programs?
Yep.
There are some engineering programs, for instance, software, mechanical, civil engineering, supply engineering, which is to do with water processing, global business engineering, which is a combination of software or mechanical plus business studies and communication. Then we have the business programs, value chain management and marketing. And we shouldn't also forget the design business and design programs, fashion design and branding and marketing.
And I think
finally we have a program in construction, which is architectural technology and construction management, a combination of civil engineering and architecture, but without the sort of challenges that civil engineers find themselves in with calculation, and also with an element of architecture without exactly becoming an architect. So it combines 2 disciplines plus a lot of project management. And I mentioned, I forgot one program, material science engineering, which is to do with the fashion industry, where you learn about textiles, textile quality, development of new textiles.
All those programs are good in a way that Denmark is a leader in approach to sustainability, technology, ecology, and it's no better way to study those programs which you mentioned in a place where you're actually using them. In Slovakia, it's more abstract. If you study in ecology in Slovakia, it's fantastic, but you are first legal or you are the A team of ecology and you're using windmills, you're using water as a source of energy. So it's great to study it in a place where they actually use it, not just to talk about it.
Yeah.
If we speak about students, what's the ratio of Danish and foreigner students at VIA, if you have some calculation?
Yeah. VIA is a large regional institution, so the total number of students is around 19,000, that also includes students who study to become teachers or nurses. So on the campuses and in some of the programs, the ratio is quite different. Altogether, we have 3,500 roughly international students, and most of them are in in Horsens, and quite a big number also in Campus Herning, where we have the design programs, and also a few programs in Aarhus, value chain management, global business engineering, and architecture. So in some classes, it's almost entirely international students with a few Danish students. So the ratio depends on which program you're in fact.
Sure. Actually, 2 days ago, I was thinking that this is quite fascinating fact that even to a small city as a Horsens or Kolding, which there are not like 500,000 inhabitants there, you can still attract so many international students. We have international students in Czech Republic or in Slovakia, but mainly in capital cities.
Yeah.
And you are still able, and I'm pretty sure it's not because of your good marketing activities, but throughout the quality of the education or educational approach to attract such a number of international students into tiny cities. Thorsten, if you can explain me, let's pretend I don't know, what means problem-based learning? Because you're doing something which is not so well spread, and especially not in Slovakia.
Yeah. Problem-based learning is actually trying to do what you will be doing later on. When you leave university and you have your degree, you're not asked to account for the theory or to explain that you read this title and then studied that expert, but rather that you can solve problems for a company. Companies have tasks, assignments, and problems they're facing constantly, either developing new business proposals or developing an engineering solution. And in that process, you have to consider that there is always more than one solution. There's never just one answer to a question. You have to come up with the best solution to the problem. So that's our job, to teach you and invite you into a discussion of what represents the best solution given the conditions and given the theoretical approach that you can also apply. Because of course there's a lot of theory that you need to know, but that theory is only relevant if it can solve real life problems. So what we do is that we let students work with these questions. We let them try it, and as we go progress, they will be more and more on their own and independent. Let them try to ask questions. How do we solve this? What are the downsides? What are the advantages of this solution? And compared to other solutions. And this is something that they do throughout the program and projects every semester. And of course, especially in connection with their internship, because they will be really challenged, because they will be asked by a company to come up with an answer to some challenge or problem that the company is facing. So we don't give them answers. We let them find out what is the problem and let them come up with the answer or several answers to that problem, and then decide what's going to be the best solution to this problem. Was that? Yeah.
Yeah, understood.
Understood. Yeah.
Understood, and I can confirm. I was studying in Denmark too, and actually, without being there, I would be never encouraged, or I would never open any business, because no one in my family was entrepreneur before. They were all employees, and Denmark opened my eyes in many ways what is possible. And I can confirm we've been doing a lot of study cases. We've been working in small groups of 5, and just to learn that this is an environment how we will learn later on in our professional life. One is good in calculations, another good one is in communication. Maybe someone is lazy, and you in this group you have to find some scheme how to all put it together. I think so. And another thing what I'm explaining is this problem-based learning. You have to do things. It's fine to hear the lessons, but it's same like you would be learning how to cycle. I can tell you how to cycle. I can show you how to cycle, but you really have to try and on your own to fall down a few times, and then you can say you know how to cycle. If you tell me how it is to cycle, it doesn't mean that you do cycle. Thorsten, for myself, from my personal experience, one part of my journey in Denmark was 8 hours or 6 hours at school, but you have also another 10 hours living on your own in Denmark. Why you think moving abroad in such a young age is good for someone? Why to not study at home and enjoy your mama's kitchen or cuisine?
Yeah, that's of course also an option. But you will learn many different things by traveling abroad. You will learn to stand on your own 2 feet, become independent, do a bit of cooking, as you say.
Yeah.
Do some shopping. Perhaps your mum has been doing that all your life. And especially you will learn how to interact and socialize with other people and create a personal network. And I think it's really important to be aware of this at the beginning, that in addition to studying and learning getting to know the Danish way of studying and how to interact with your professors, it's also super important that you get a personal network, that you spend a lot of time together with others developing this network, both for your personal comfort, that you feel that I'm at home now, I have someone that I can relate to, but also developing a professional network, someone being together with people that can help you with information, with solutions, dealing with questions of professional nature, because this is what you need later on. So I think you will be developing both a network of people, and people from not only Denmark, from lots of other countries, because many different nationalities come to Denmark. So you'll be developing an international network which will help you in the future. And it will help you also later on if you're looking for business options, business opportunities, suppliers if you're working for a company. So this professional network is super important, and we think it's a good way to start to do that while you're studying at university.
Exactly. I think so. Americans, they have one saying that your network is what you are net worth. Yeah. And they say relationships are the new economy. And sooner, when you are 18, 19, you start to train yourself in building relations and to build or to create your net of contacts. Sooner you start to understand that relations are extremely important, not even knowledge but contacts and ability to ask for help and to cooperate. True story. Thorsten, I would be happy if you can put on the presentation if we have time, maybe for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Let's just see it here. Can you see anything?
Yes. Actually, this Zoom is fantastic too. It's much better than Skype. Yeah, I see.
So it's like 29 slides. I don't expect.
We can skip some. We can skip some.
I can always send it to you. But these are some of the reasons why it makes sense to study in Denmark. It says that we're the happiest people in the world. I think we're actually second place now. It's Norwegian.
It's still a good place, I think.
Yeah, it's still a good place, yeah. And of course, you could learn more by going to our website. This is you can learn, for instance, here about living, studying, and working in Denmark. But of course, we have an extensive website which also explains you about admission processes, the programs, etc. So I would really encourage you to go there. So this is our university. It's the largest university of applied science. We have a huge number of students, but especially what's important for you would be the international students. We are quite entrepreneurial at VIA. We have been awarded several times in competitions. So as we've already been talking about how we work problem-based, and we try to combine theory and practice. We work in projects. We have project groups. As you talked about earlier, you also have to interact with people in a team. And this means that you will also learn about some really important skills about group management and relating to other people, finding out who knows what, how can I benefit from what someone else knows, and how can they benefit from what I know, so that we pool our resources. And the point is that I don't think you can manage to solve a problem or a challenge in a professional context today on your own. You will always have to involve others. You don't have all the information. You have to rely on others, and they have to rely on you. And of course, learning something about the psychology of being in a group. This is the learning environment, and I think we've talked about problem-based learning enough to say that this is the main focus. And we work in groups, and we work in classes, and very closely with the lecturer. The teacher is also the project supervisor, who will help you, but will not give you answers. They will lead you towards the answer. But a project supervisor who just gives the students the straight answers would be not doing the right thing. So they don't do that. They let you find the answers and challenge you. A bit about our facilities. You have access to campus 24/7. So you can go there and work. There are student organizations, clubs, student incubator. If you are interested in starting your own company, we can help you with that. If you have a business plan that you have designed, you can get more inspiration, help to develop it. We have a career service center that will help you with, for instance, internship or work placement, getting a job afterwards.
Let me just interrupt you, and let's go one back slide.
Yeah.
This student incubator.
Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah.
If you could speak a bit more about it, because plenty of people which are meeting here, they're 18, 19, 20, and they're really under influence of, I don't know, Netflix, or they're getting all the information, and they really want to start their own business. So what is student incubator? If just very briefly.
Yeah, but there are both courses which could be taken as part of the program. I don't remember the exact content of the course. But the point is that here you can get advice on how to launch a company, who to connect with, how to make a business plan that could make investors interested. So you have to have a convincing business case, and you can also they can also help you with information about how do you actually attract investors. Of course, some of our business programs will enable students to be in a better place to do that. But for instance, if you study engineering, your focus is in engineering first of all, and then secondly, the business aspect. So you will need know something about how do I calculate prices, what are costs, how do I make a budget, and how do I sell my product? How do I communicate with customers? How do I become clear about what is this I'm actually doing? What is a market? How do I find out who my potential customers are? So it's many aspects of starting up a company.
Yeah, it gives you like logical steps, not just to, okay, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to create logo, then I'm going to do what? Do Facebook, then I write something in Word document. Excellent. This is very good, especially when you are 18, 19, and it's for free, I think so, which is fantastic also. Let's move on. Yes.
This is just an example of what the calendar that the Career Service Center has, where you can see what they offer. For instance, company dating. We have company dating once each semester. Companies come to meet our students, and you can connect. Again, there we have the professional network. You can show who you are. They show who they are, and then perhaps you could be talking about internships or even jobs afterwards once you've graduated. So that's a really good opportunity and chance for you to get a job and start your professional career. If you have a CV, how do you design a CV? How do you make it professional? So there are many different activities. These are locations: Herning, Aarhus, and Horsens.
It's a map of Denmark, right?
It's a map of Denmark, yeah.
Quite a technical map of Denmark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Graphic design. This is the campus in Herning, where we have the design, fashion design and branding and marketing program. Example here of a workstation where a student is working on a final project, working with colors, textiles, materials. It's very hands-on fashion design, designing your own clothing as part of the project, of course, using design theory at the same time.
And what I want to say here that at the fashion design, you are definitely not lacking materials. which might be a problem in Slovakia. I see plenty of cloths and sewing machines. And actually, this fashion design in Herning is, I think, so one of the largest school of itself in Scandinavia, if I'm not mistaken.
And if you want to study branding and marketing, it's there, and where you use the fashion industry as the case for your studies. Then this is the new campus in Horsens. Actually, this is what it looked like in May last year, and this is the way it's going to look. And if you go to our keeping up with VIA, you will see how tall that tall building is now. It's to its full height. There's a very recent photo on our Facebook account. So this is the way actually the architect imagines it's going to look.
It's really nice, actually.
We're looking forward to that in 2021. This is the inside as visualized by the architect, and in that way you can see that it's pretty similar to the design thinking of Campus Aarhus, where this is the center. There are 5 buildings in Aarhus. This is the center. This is the canteen area, but very open. So there's a lot of interaction. You feel constantly there's a lot of life, and that's really what I appreciate about that campus. And I think it's going to be the same in Horsens. This is what you can do on the top of the roof building, where the global business engineering and the value chain managers are located. So
they are missing. They are missing ball. Where is the ball?
Good point. I think so. I think they posed for the photograph. Photographer. Anyways, the court is there, and you can go there during the breaks.
All right.
Yeah. These are the programs: design, business, engineering, construction. We talked a bit about design. Yep. I think the interesting thing here is actually the catwalk, because this is a VIA design creation, and this is on the catwalk at some fashion fair. And each year we do have students who manage to find their creations on the catwalk at the Copenhagen Fashion Fair. So this is how far they can take it. Then, a few more examples of the study environment from Campus Stiahni, where you can see the students are working with the materials and designing and working. Yeah, you don't have to be able to sew and knit before you go there. They will teach you the basics. It's the design process that is really important.
I think so. Every year we have 6 or 7 Slovakian girls or boys who are studying there. It's quite not easy to get there. It's quite a high competition, but
yeah. Business programs in Horsens, we have a AP degree in marketing management and the top-up program. So you get a bachelor's degree. And we have the BA in value chain management, both in Horsens and in Aarhus. Value chain management is about production management, production planning, logistics. I would say that it's business administration with a slightly more technical content. You would have to be interested in factories, what goes on on a factory floor. How can you organize production so that it becomes very efficient? But of course, there's not engineering. It's the engineers that make the machines, but you will learn how to combine them to, for instance, have more cost efficiency in the production. But also management. Of course, you will learn about management aspects, human resource management, motivational theory, things like that, so that you can manage people in these production systems that you've designed. Engineering. Civil engineering, we have really good examples of civil engineering projects, the buildings that you can see in the right-hand side of the slides. Climate and supply engineering, water, treating clean water, making sure the water supply is okay, that it's clean. How do you also purify water after it's been used? Global business engineering, combining mechanical or software with business studies and communication. And mechanical engineering, working with machines, but also environmentally sustainable solutions for industry. Material science engineering is about fashion design, in the sense that you will provide the materials for the fashion designer. For instance, we had 2 years ago a fashion fair in Aarhus where one of the students had designed a dress entirely made from 3D printing.
Okay.
So that's an example of innovative thinking in the fashion industry. And software is about developing computer systems and coding. So if you're really interested in coding, you're super good. But if you're more interested in the design aspects, for instance, web design, that's also a way to go. So coding is part of it.
Just to say, when I was in Denmark, you are much more technologically advanced. When I was traveling, this is a real story. I was traveling in trains. In Slovakia, everyone is reading newspapers, like tabloids. In Denmark, everyone was doing something on their computer and not only watching movies. So, guys, if you want to study something connected with computers or anything, basically anything, Scandinavia is the top region economically, politically, technologically. So, true story. I was living there.
And finally, we have the construction program, Architectural Technology and Construction Management, working with architecture, working with civil engineering, and also working with planning processes. Because you will, this student will be at the center of construction and building renovation projects, managing sort of two worlds, the world of architecture and the world of civil engineering, and coordinating lots of planning tools, and also watching over the cost of construction and renovation projects. These are examples, for instance, of some of the software engineers working with 3D printing, the world of virtual reality, and also mechanical engineering. We have an example of that, of a setting from the world of mechanical engineering.
Yep.
This is what we require. You need your high school diploma, good English skills, math and physics. Check out the requirements on the website for each program, and design via admission design admission assignment, where you have to make something which shows your skills within our fashion design or thinking about branding and marketing. So I think that's it.
Excellent. Actually, Thorsten, without anything, honestly, this was lovely, really lovely and full of information.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I was able to see you, to speak to you. You give me motivation to keep with work. And I hope so Denmark and Slovakia will reopen the borders, and hope to see you very soon.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I'm showing them with a hold on my screen still.
You are.
Okay. Right. I just wanted to know, since I'm there.
Yeah.
This is the employability camp, via employability camp 2020.
I see just PowerPoint, but I will.
You see. Okay.
You just click on share screen and maybe it will turn off.
Okay, let's just see here.
Or you can send me the poster or anything what you have, and I will put it into description under this video.
What we will do is we'll be sending some information to you, a letter, and there will be a link to the website.
Excellent.
Super.
Thorsten, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it was good to see you again and speak to you in English and to hear some good vibes from Denmark.
Good. That's good. Okay.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
I
you.
will find a way how to close the meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.